Hey, were you at the mall yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I was picking up those chips you wanted.
Were you dressed appropriately?
I'm not sure what you mean by appropriately, but I was wearing my usual outfit. Same as what I wear to work.
What? Don't you just wear regular clothes to work?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. You never know who is going to see you or where. Whenever you go out where there are a lot of people, I want you to be dressed nicely. Were you wearing makeup?
Yeah, I was wearing makeup. Why? What's up?
My coworker told me he saw you.
Okay. The one who came to our wedding?
That's the one.
What did he say?
He said you looked beautiful as always. But I thought there was a hint of flattery in his voice.
Well, I guess I can't argue with that.
You were young and beautiful back when we got married. You didn't have any bad angles. But these days, your age is starting to show.
My age? I guess my skin isn't what it used to be. But I really don't think you need to say it like that.
Sure. Even now, I think you're still the most beautiful woman in the room wherever we go. That's why I married you. But you're not as young as you used to be. When you go out, could you try to make sure you're looking fashionable? You should always look classy.
It's not like my clothes have holes in them or anything. I have no intention of going out looking bad.
That's not what I mean. I mean you need to keep your feminine allure. I mean you haven't got your hair or nails done recently. You haven't bought any new clothes recently either. Why aren't you keeping up with this stuff? As a high school dropout, you really only have your looks going for you.
It's not like I dropped out because I wanted to. You know my grades in high school were pretty good.
But in the end, you still dropped out. People who haven't even finished school are. Well, can you really even call them adults? Do you know how lucky you are? You were still able to find someone and get married because of your great looks. You should really be grateful to your birth parents for giving you those genes.
Hey, cut it out. You know I hate my birth parents. It's because of them that I couldn't finish high school. They threw me out of the house. As far as I'm concerned, the Johnsons are my real parents.
That Johnson guy who walked you down the aisle, right? The guy who runs that gym. If we're being honest, you probably have your looks to thank for him taking you in as well. If you were less attractive, you can bet he wouldn't have given you the time of day.
Don't talk about him like that. He took me in off the streets.
Anyway, forget about your past. My point is that your face is what has allowed you to get where you are today.
That's not true.
At any rate, the best thing for you is to keep working on your appearance. Since you've got nothing going on upstairs. If you turn into just a regular old woman, then what value do you bring?
Don't I have value in just being me?
What do you mean? I'm telling you there's value in just having your looks. Oh, do you mean like what's on the inside or something? If that's the case, you're really barking up the wrong tree.
What?
Looks are everything for a woman. Taking care of housework is a given. Even people who aren't as attractive can do that. And things like having a good personality or being smart don't really change how people look at women. Anyway, I know it's difficult for you to understand since you didn't finish school. But what I'm trying to say is that you're really lucky that you're so beautiful.
I don't think that's true.
Well, by virtue of being a woman, you wouldn't understand. But that's the reality of things. So if you want me to keep you around, you should work hard at keeping up your appearance.
What time will you be back home? It's been 3 hours since you left to drop that woman off.
Maybe another 2 hours?
What are you up to?
Does it matter?
Of course, it matters. And I need to ask you some questions about that. First of all, why was there a stranger in our place? I was quite surprised when I came home from work to find both of you having dinner like it was normal. I even thought I was at the wrong apartment for a moment.
I told you, she's just a colleague from my department.
Yeah, but why was she at our place? You didn't even have work today.
She said her stove only has one burner. I guess it's hard for her to meal prep for the week. So I offered her to use our stove. It's not like you're using it when you're at work. So, what's wrong with her using it when you don't need it? Anyway, it's your fault for coming home early.
How is it my fault? It's your fault for not telling me beforehand.
What? It's my apartment. I can invite anyone I want.
We're married, so it's our apartment too.
I'm the one paying the rent. Do you have something to say?
Of course, I have something to say. What am I supposed to think when you have a woman over without telling me? And it didn't seem like just a normal dinner with a colleague. She was all over you. Do you really expect me to believe you're just coworkers?
Blah blah blah. What? What are you trying to say?
I think it's pretty clear. There's something going on between the two of you.
And what if there is?
Huh?
Let's cut to the chase. That was my girlfriend. Are you happy? Stop beating around the bush.
I don't understand. What do you mean she's your girlfriend? We're married.
And just because I'm married to you doesn't mean I can't have a girlfriend?
That's exactly what it means. That's called infidelity.
PFFF. And what of it? You want to divorce me?
What am I supposed to say when you put me on the spot like this? But yeah, I guess so. There's really nothing else to do. That's what you want, isn't it?
I don't care either way. I would still classify you as beautiful for now.
Even though you're always putting me down. I thought you still had some feelings for me. You were so kind when we were dating and when we first got married. But I guess it was all just an act. You never really liked me, did you?
The reason I was so nice was because you were so beautiful. I had to be nice to get you to fall for me. And because you were so beautiful, there was value in having you around. It was a fair trade.
I see. I'm finally seeing how naive I've been.
Well, you never finished school, so what did you expect? Even though you finally realized that you're not good enough. It's too late now. I told you before. When your looks fade and you're just another older woman, you're gonna have to leave.
And that's why you got a new girlfriend?
Exactly. You've been getting pretty tiresome. And you've had a sharp tongue lately too. That innocence you had when we first met seems to be gone. I guess women like you have a short shelf life. I've realized that the early 20s really are the peak.
There's no other way to think about it, huh?
Anyway, if you're willing to reflect on things, and work hard to please me with every last bit of your youth. I'm willing to put this on hold for now. After all, if I tell you to leave, you don't really have anywhere to go, do you?
I guess that's true.
You know, women often have to spend their lives doing what men tell them. If they don't, there's no way for them to survive. So, if you want to stay in my apartment, I don't want to hear any more backtalk from you. If you cross me one more time, I don't even know what will happen to you. Do you understand? I understand. There, that's the spirit. If you just do what I say like a good girl, everything will be fine. Did your shift end at noon today? Go home quickly and make dinner. You know I avoid doing anything on my days off.
Jacob, I passed.
What? Past what?
The paralegal certification.
What are you talking about? That can't be true. You must have been scammed or something. I've taken the test so many times, even after finishing college, and I couldn't pass it. A high school dropout like you can't possibly manage it.
I thought you might finally approve of me if I could do it. So I've been studying really hard. It took me 4 years, but I finally passed. Please stop calling me stupid, okay?
Are you serious right now?
I'm serious. I just checked the results online. They'll mail the certificate later.
I see. That's it, I've had enough. You're in for it as soon as you get home.
What?
Unbelievable, sneaking around studying behind my back. And not just that, aiming for the test I failed just to spite me. Oh, you're in trouble.
The only study books we have at the apartment are for the paralegal exam. I wanted to spend as little money as possible. I thought if I could pass that, you would stop looking down on me. I thought it would be a good way to earn your approval.
You've lost your mind. Hurry up and get home. I'm going to make sure you never step out of line again.
Let's be honest, you get annoyed no matter what I do.
That's enough. I told you if you ever crossed me again, I don't know what I would do. I just told you that. I've decided I'm going to beat that pretty face of yours until you're ugly.
Oh, really? Do you think you can take me?
What are you saying to me?
I told you about the place that took me in when my parents tossed me out, right? It's a gym.
That old boxing gym? The one run by the guy who took you in.
That's the one. I learned some basics while I was there. If you raise a finger against me, I can defend myself.
No problem. You do whatever you can. But there's no way a woman can match a man in terms of strength. So don't get too cocky.
Understood. I've had enough too. I don't want to live my whole life being looked down on by you. I'm serious.
Mary, where are you? All of your stuff was gone when I got home.
Does it really matter where I am? We're getting divorced, after all.
Are you with that Johnson guy by any chance? I have to talk to you about something, so I'm heading over.
Don't bother. You probably just want to try. And find a way to avoid going to court about hitting me, right?
About that. Of the two of us, I think I came out of that scrap the most busted up. So why are you pressing charges against me? You say it was self-defense, but you broke my nose. It's gonna take 2 weeks to heal.
Then why don't you go try and tell the police that it was me who beat you? If you can. But then, I have video evidence that all I did was act in self-defense. Everything I did was completely legal.
First of all, just happening to have video evidence is totally impossible. You're at fault for coming home knowing that I was in a state and would hit you.
I had no way to know if you would actually do it. You're always just all talk. But on the off chance that you actually tried something, I decided to film things just in case. And I have to protect myself. Being just a weak woman after all.
You're not weak at all. And I'm sorry for hitting you. That was wrong of me. But you were in the wrong too, don't you think? Going out of your way just to pass that test because I kept failing.
But we already had all the books and study material at the house. In the beginning, all I wanted was your approval. I wanted you to acknowledge me for who I am on the inside. And stop making me feel ashamed of myself.
I acknowledge you, Mary. You're smarter than I am. So, are you satisfied? Will you drop the domestic violence charges against me? We'll do things how you want from now on.
I want to live my life the way I want to from now on. With or without your approval. My eyes are finally open.
What do you mean your eyes are open?
It's been really tough on me all this time having you treating me like I'm stupid just because I didn't finish school. But even though you made fun of me, I thought it couldn't really be helped. Because despite that, you still loved me and still married me.
That's right. I love you.
Just my looks, right? You had no interest in who I was inside. While we were dating and when we were first married, you said so many nice things about my personality, but it was all just talk.
Relationships change after people get married. The honeymoon period can't go on forever.
I know that. And I acknowledge that I really was stupid for believing all of your sweet talk back then. But you started looking down on me more. And more until everything that wasn't my appearance was just garbage. You called me worthless and other terrible things more times than I can even remember. This isn't about the honeymoon period. You just never cared about anything but my looks from the very beginning. Once your looks fade, I'm gonna tell you to take a hike. Who do you think you are?
What do you want me to say? That's just how men look at women. It can't be helped.
And so cheating is okay? Just because I'm getting older. And maybe my looks are starting to fade. And I'm starting to stand up for myself. That makes it okay to fool around outside of the marriage? That's crazy. Do you really hate women that much?
Please listen to me, Mary. I believe there's an argument to be made about gender differences. But I want to acknowledge that you stand out among women. Your unique qualities should give you confidence. I understand that your age.
You see, that's not the issue. I've come to realize that we'll never agree on anything. As for the divorce and domestic violence charges, I'd prefer if you discuss those matters with my lawyer from now on. This will be our last private conversation.
Regarding the divorce, I'd like to discuss it with you. I've realized that I want to remain married. After all, it's not every day you find someone as remarkable as a high school dropout with a paralegal certificate. Your value has significantly increased in my eyes.
The thing is, I don't want to stay married. Regardless of how you view my worth. You constantly belittled me, cheated on me, and even resorted to violence. I believe this situation is beyond repair. And I think most people would agree.
I'm telling you that I'm willing to continue our marriage. You should be pleased.
Do you not realize how difficult it was for me with you? I spent my time stroking your fragile ego while enduring your abuse. I don't want to work tirelessly just to earn a bit of your approval anymore. I've finally realized how much of my life I've wasted on that endeavor.
You had a comfortable life with me. You lacked nothing.
A comfortable life? Even though you wouldn't provide money to replace or improve things I didn't like. I had to take on a part-time job because you wouldn't even give me enough for lunch. Life with you was challenging in every way, financially, mentally, and physically.
Perhaps if you didn't constantly challenge me.
Women aren't here to obey men's every command. We're not decorations. You just want a trophy to make your friends envious. That's your mindset because you're small and lack self-worth.
What? I attended a respectable college. I earn more than the average person my age.
Sure, but you're not as intelligent as me. Attending college hasn't really benefited you, has it? Your value is quite mediocre, I'd say.
Don't become overly confident just because you passed a test.
Well, you made me this way. This is the result of your endless tyranny.
All right, I understand. I'll agree to the divorce. I'll even agree to split our property. So please drop the domestic violence charges. I'm the one who got hurt, after all.
You don't have a choice regarding property division. As in any divorce, you'll also be paying alimony. And no, I won't be dropping the charges.
Mary! We lived together for 5 years. Don't you have any emotions? If you don't drop the charges, I could end up behind bars.
I hope you do get arrested. And if I lack emotions, it's probably because I'm similar to you. Was it enjoyable tormenting me for the past 5 years?
Mary, please. Besides your appearance, one of your best qualities is your kindness. I genuinely understand you. I've witnessed that kindness.
It's far too late for you to say anything now. We both know you never saw beyond my looks. You're ugly on the inside and outside. You bring nothing to the table. And you're cheap. Even though you constantly mocked me, you're dumber and weaker than I am. What's your value? After that, Jacob and I got divorced. I was awarded alimony. I also received half of our assets. He faced legal consequences for hitting me. But it being his first offense spared him from significant jail time. Instead, he received a fine and a restraining order. Nonetheless, I believe having the arrest on his record has made his life more challenging. During the police processing, he had to take time off from work. And his company learned about the arrest. As it turned out, he had been mistreating women in his office based on their looks. Although they had tolerated it until then. The news of his arrest emboldened them to share their experiences. I heard that due to the arrest and internal complaints, his company decided to terminate his employment. Mr. Johnson, who previously offered me shelter when I had nowhere else to go, kindly allowed me to stay with him again while I arrange my future. I will begin my new job as a paralegal next month. Not having a high school diploma posed some challenges. But fortunately, a private law firm heard my story and decided to give me an opportunity. I'm determined to live happily now. Not only for all the kind people who supported me but also for myself. Through hard work and always cherishing my inner beauty. It's time to embark on a new chapter in my life.